Good afternoon, everybody. Uneducated Economist here. So I'd like to do a follow-up video to the videos that I just put out about the Fed policy speech. And pretty much inside of those videos, the Fed had a meeting, or actually it was a speech given by a John C. Williams, where he basically explained the issues that the economy is having and what the Fed could possibly do about it. And what the issue is that interest rates are so low right now that in case a recession kicks in, there's no room to move, right? So before, during a recession, like back in the financial crisis, interest rates were high enough that they could drop them down. They dropped them down all the way to zero, and they kept them there for a long time. Well, they started ticking them up just a little bit, and it's caused the markets to go crazy, right? So pretty much since they started raising interest rates, the housing market has started to pop, the stock market is going down. Everything is starting to crash, and now we're starting to have an inversion on the yield curve. And we'll talk about the yield curve in another video, but all these things are economic signs of downturn, right? And even in this speech that he had given, he said, ironically, the problem we need to solve these days is the risk of inflation that is persistently too low rather than too high. They can't seem to get the interest rates down enough to spark the inflation off to go enough, right? And that's what he's kind of complaining about there. Now, just a few days later, this was given November 30th, 2018, right? And that was the major thing. That was the issue of the whole speech was, ironically, the problem we need to solve these days is the risk of inflation that is persistently too high persistently too low rather than too high. Then he came out just 5 days later on December 4th, and this one's coming out of Market Watch, and he goes on to say, given this outlook of strong growth, strong labor markets, and inflation near our goal, and taking account all the various risks around the outlook, I do expect further gradual increases in interest rates will best sponsor the sustained economic expansion, right? So basically, he is saying that we need to raise interest rates. Everything is going real good, and we need to kick interest rates up and get them moving, right? I mean, and get them up there so they can have some firepower later on in the future. But what he is saying is that you need to raise interest rates. Now, if we go to today, earlier today, coming out of the Fed, this guy Bostic, right? Atlanta Fed President Ralph Bostic. And what did he have to say? He said, I currently think we are within shouting distance of neutral. And I do think neutral is where we want to be. He said in his remarks prepared for a speech at the University of Georgia, I am not seeing clear signs of overheating, nor am I seeing any indications of material weakening in the macroeconomic data at the moment. Right? So he's basically saying that we are reaching neutral. And now if you go back and you listen to what the neutral is, right? Neutral is growth, right? So what the Fed wants to be is neither accommodative nor restrictive to the economy, and they want to be neutral. And he's saying that we are almost there. But a few days ago, the other Fed said, no, we got rate hikes to go. So what are they going to do, guys? In the speech, he's saying we have a problem. Inflation is persistently too low, and we're going to have to do something about that. And inside that, they actually make the suggestion that they do overinflation, right? They make overinflation so during the down times, when the deflationary times come, it'll be high enough that the undercutting of inflation, the downturn, will land them right at that inflationary target. So if that makes sense, right? Basically what they're going to do is they're going to raise inflation higher than what they should have in order to create enough inflation that when the deflation comes, they land right in the middle. Right? Okay, guys. Anyway, I just thought that was a good follow-up video, that these guys are just confusing as hell. They are not making it any easier to try and figure out what they planning for the future. And I think they're doing it on purpose, you know, because you can see within a week now they have like so many contradictory thoughts. All right. Talk to you guys later. Thank you.